Good afternoon slash evening, folks. Welcome to the 48th episode of the Ken Matias Sports Podcast. I have NFL draft analyst Buddy Andrade, and we also have a friend of the show, Keith LePage, that's very well knowledgeable in sports. So you can consider him an analyst too. How you guys doing?
Doing
Doing
very well. How are you?
Doing well,
doing
thank
well,
you.
thank you. Excited. 8 days away.
I know, I can't believe it. So first, we'll start with
Hi.
Buddy. What's your expectations? What have you been working on with recaps and stuff like that ahead of the draft next week?
At this point, it's just following the rumors and trying to figure out who's saying them, who the connections are with different teams, knowing what reporters get info from what teams,
Hmm.
and people who are just totally throwing stuff against the wall, like the Jason La Canfora method.
So basically, I mean, we know probably it's going to be Cam Ward one, probably Hunter two. Who knows what the Giants are going to do at three, and then our beloved Patriots. What should they do at four? Should they take Abdul Carter? Like, just hit me with some quick hits, buddy, because I know you're pretty knowledgeable about this. Pretty knowledgeable, I should
Um,
say.
my philosophy is Carter, Hunter, or trade.
Okay.
That's the way I want to do it. Trade down. If you can trade down, you can find somebody and add some picks. I do it that way because I think you can still get a Tyler Warren talent, Jalen Walker. There's a group and a guy who nobody's talking about who I think is stuck into that group. And the first receiver off the board is going to be Matt Golden from Texas.
Mm-hmm.
The guy is just a complete receiver and comes through in big moments. I think we're going to hear a lot about teams that have been kind of letting the Ted McMillan thing, get out there so they can circle their prey.
Yeah,
Because
it seems like the McMillan talks. I mean, I've kept up with the coverage and stuff, but has he been like slipping down the draft boards? Because I know they've predicted him to go to the Pats early. Now, if the Hunter's available, the Pats might look at him. But then Vrabel's kind of mum yesterday at his press conference saying, you know, they're saying it's like lukewarm on like Will Campbell. So, I mean, the buzz is everywhere. What's going on with the teams, especially when it regards the Pats? I'm like, I want them to draft somebody solid at four, so this guy can help us build for the foundation in the future.
yeah,
So,
and four is it's very important. I mean, you may have to pick there, and
hmm
you got to have a favorite for the group. If I'm stuck at four and those guys are gone, Walker, Warren, Genty's even in play for me.
solid
Uh,
running back.
just because if you look at how they ran things in Tennessee, they put the saddle on the big horse
Hmm
and rode him
Oh yeah,
right to a
absolutely.
conference championship. And if you have a guy like that and committed to the run game and the offensive line coaches that you have right now with Marone, Scarnecchia in the background, and they have a third guy,
hmm
um, they're going to be able to coach guys up. But no Will Campbell, no Ted McMillan for me at four. Never,
No, no, that's
never in a
too
million
early.
years.
And Keith, feel free to chime in on, your
Yeah.
thoughts on the Patriots draft, Patriots offseason.
Mm,
We're all, it's all over
Yeah.
the table here. And
Yeah.
obviously
Yeah.
we could
No,
talk about
I
your
mean,
beloved Bears as well.
yeah. I mean, I completely agree with Buddy. If guys like Hunter Akata are there, absolutely draft them. If not, I say trade down. I think the whole Cleveland Giants thing is going to be interesting. Now that Cleveland signed their quarterback, we'll say in Flacco, are they going to look to move down?
Hmm
And get rid of that two pick and maybe try and gain more out of it. The team that I'm hearing that wants to move up in the draft, and there's only one team that I'm hearing this about right now, is the Giants. They want to try and get back into the first round. And you
That would
got
make
teams like
sense.
Carolina, and I believe it was the Rams, and I think Minnesota would be another team to actually drop back in the draft. I know Dallas was there too, looking to
Hmm
move further back in the draft to give up their picks there. So it should be interesting. You don't have a lot of teams looking to jump forward this year. Everybody else, I think they feel that it's a good enough draft where you got those top guys, then start jumping back a little bit.
No, that's good
So
analysis
yeah,
because
yeah,
it's just heading into it, and Buddy probably knows better than I do, and maybe Keith, you're on Buddy's level,
yeah,
but they just keep saying it's a terrible draft for the talent
yeah,
that's coming out because last year you had
yeah,
the May, the Daniels, you had like the good
yeah,
quarterbacks, and now you got
Yeah.
Sanders that might slip, but then he's scheduled to have a workout with the
Yeah.
Giants, or he might have had a workout with the Giants
Yeah.
already.
Yeah. I think he had it today. Or I'm not sure. There was three of them. The three
So
QBs there
yeah,
that they had that.
Abdul Carter just had a top 30
Yeah.
visit, I think, with the Pats recently, maybe on Monday or whatever it
Yeah.
is. So I'm just waiting for these rumors to die down and draft day to be here because it's been too long. It's probably been since December or like before the playoffs that the draft talk just started
Yeah.
ramping up. So
Oh yeah, when you
Yeah.
knew
Yeah.
this team was going to be in there, and
hmm
just it is. It's not the greatest draft at the top, but
Yep.
there is a lot of quality. And the thing is, the NFL has become such a sub package league
hmm
and spread out. So wide receivers have become important. These defensive linemen, like they can't really be pigeonholed anymore. I mean, you have your edge rushers. It's not old school where you had your nose tackle and your three technique defensive tackle, or if you were, a 3-4, you had your two big defensive ends with your nose tackle. Um, it's sub package league. It's schemed up. There's a lot of pressure that has to be schemed up. And to find a guy like Abdul Carter who can get the pressure himself, and you don't really have to scheme it up, that's a big deal right now. That's that's something you need. Those guys that no matter where you line them up, they're going to be able to get to the quarterback. And there's a lot of them in this draft who are pretty good. I mean,
hmm
right down into day three.
So would you both say, actually, question for the panel here, would you both say that Abdul Carter has the Micah Parsons type of, player in him? I know that's kind of hard to say. He went to Penn State. They both wear the same number, yada, yada, yada. But is he kind of mini version of Micah Parsons, or could you see a Myles Garrett with him in the next like 10 years? I know it's kind of hard for a rookie, but what do you guys see like his ceiling being maybe to whatever team he goes to if it's not the Patriots?
I mean, what do you see with the difference between a Micah Parsons compared to a Miles Garrett?
hmm
I mean, I can see him being great on the end and being that rusher. Can he be that all around guy? I'm not sure. But I definitely can see him being that dominant rusher in the league, you know?
Yeah, over time, I agree. And go ahead, buddy, whenever
Yeah.
you're ready.
I really do think the big thing is when I think of that playoff game and he was playing with one shoulder and he pretty much dominated the game
hmm
with one shoulder, that told me everything I needed to know about the guy. And then seeing him in the weight room and they say he kind of takes days off in practice. Just lighten the load a little bit. If you go out there and get hurt in practice when you're a top five pick, I mean, some of these guys skip out on bowl games
hmm
because they're a high draft pick. We're going to start talking about, Allen, what would Allen Iverson say right now? What would he say? We talking about
About
practice?
practice about 50 times.
Yeah.
No, I mean
So
that's go ahead. Sorry, buddy. I'm sorry.
yeah, no. So that's what I look at when it comes to Carter and Jalen Walker's kind of. He's more of the Micah Parsons where you move him around. I mean, Abdul Carter can play either side
hmm
and play off the ball, but Jalen Walker's a real. I don't know. You get 47 uniforms on game day. If he can fill 4 or 5 different roles for you, how valuable is he as a player?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. That's a good
It's
point.
if I can put him in ed, I can put him at off the ball linebacker. I can let him cover and blitz up the middle with my new quicker linebackers, and let him cover, on a pass play. They run a wheel route. He's going to get down there. We've seen Keon White do it. He's going to do it easily. Um, it's just finding the right mix between these guys, and I'm sure they have, the guy they want. Every team does right now. If
Yeah, I
I have
mean,
the guys I want, how don't they? They
yeah.
know much more than I do. So that's kind of the way I look at that. And just if you can get a difference maker, a guy who's an alpha, just goes out there and the other team has to game plan. It makes everybody else better. It slots everybody else down.
hmm I mean, there's a lot. I mean, obviously we'll get to the Bears and Keith's opinion on that, but there's a lot like that I'd love them to do at four. They focused on free agency with defensive, help, Carlton Davis, Milton Williams. Like they signed these guys great. Milton Williams, to me, he has to prove himself. I don't think he's more worth than Tom Brady per year as a Patriot right now, but we'll see. Maybe he is. But I mean, I like the flashy new car of Travis Hunter, but then he brings the baggage of, he's a quiet kid off the field, blah, blah, but he brings the baggage of if I don't play both sides of the ball, I'm just gonna retire. I guess was like a recent thing he'd said. Like, why would you threaten like your NFL career? Like, if you don't play both sides of the ball, you don't play 100 snaps a game, you're just gonna just quit. So, what would you guys think if they got Travis Hunter, and how much of a playmaker would he be on the Pats offense, seeing they got Diggs and they got other weapons, I guess, or they got other receivers?
God, buddy, I'll let you go first.
All right. Yeah. No, I mean, if you bring in Hunter, um, it's probably going to be like an 80-20 split
Mm-hmm.
to begin with him at wide receiver. And, he'll be in certain defensive packages. Maybe late in the game, you're looking to defend and, you can use other guys in pressure. Now you have three guys across who can play press
Mm-hmm.
and man, and you can play one high safety, and you can just go after him, dial it up, go after him. That's what I'd say to begin with. It's an 80-20 split. Like he'll get, reps on the defensive side of the ball. He'll find things, but his natural ability to catch the football and always moving, I just like it. And there's been a lot of real crazy comps as far as him as a wide receiver. I want to see it first, but he had big games pretty much every time. I think he had one game he was under 100 yards. Even in the games they got blown out or beaten by
Mm-hmm.
Nebraska, like he had some pretty big games offensively. So either way, I'm happy. But with those two, I just, after that, I'm moving down a little bit and letting somebody else take the chance that this franchise can't afford to take at this point in time where they are.
Mm-hmm. Go ahead, Keith, whenever you're ready.
Yeah. No, I mean, I would agree with Buddy. Basically, I think immediately he's going to bring you probably more value shoring up that defense originally. He's
Mm-hmm.
definitely going to help on the offense. As we know, the Patriots don't have the best receiving core that there is right now,
That's true.
and you never know what Diggs is going to do. You know,
Coming off the injury as
we've
well.
all seen Diggs, after year one in a team, quit on his team and just become that person. So, I mean, if he keeps things together, I mean, Diggs should pan out, you know. But so you really see, more on the defensive side to begin with that he's going to help shore up that secondary with New England.
Good valid points that you guys made.
Yeah.
And I mean, I'm going to switch gears obviously to your Bears now, Keith.
Yeah.
And after being 5-12, and I heard a report today that Caleb Williams really took the losses hard late in the season and just kind of, I don't know how true it is, went to bed and kind of cried himself to sleep. But I mean, reflecting on last year, what was your thoughts? I mean, they started off 4-2 and then it just kind of went downhill from there.
Yeah, I mean, it definitely seems, much improved offensive line, we can say, through free agency compared to what they had last
Hmm.
year. And I was looking at stats on Williams, which and this is sometimes where I feel that numbids and the eye test are two different things. His numbids suggested that he had the fourth best offensive line in football because he had 3.5 seconds to throw the ball.
Hmm.
My eyes saw a quarterback that was just scrambling for his life
Yeah.
constantly back there. So he probably created most of those 3.5 seconds. So
Hmm.
sometimes that's where you look at things and you can see where the eye test is a little bit better than just absolutely looking at numbers, I think they, like I said, they got off to a good start. They blew that game against Washington, and it was pretty much downhill from there. I
Hmm.
mean, everything just went south for them at that point in time
And I was
on
surprised
the
to see.
season, and you could see it, with
Mhm.
just the attitude from the team, just the way that they looked.
I was just surprised to see Keenan Allen have like a down year. I know he's been in the league for God knows how long, but he was so
Yeah,
mostly productive with the Chargers, and now
he was.
he goes to Chicago and has a little bit of a down year with I don't know what DJ Moore's stats off the top of my head what he ended up with, but I don't even know if he ended up with a
Uh,
1,000 yards receiving.
I believe he did end
Yeah.
up again with another 1,000-yard season with like the fifth different quarterback in his career. So
Yeah, yeah. I mean, obviously from
his numbers are
Carolina.
still there with it.
And then
Um, Dunze, you going to
he's
say
on the come
maybe
up.
had a little bit of a down year. He
Hmm.
he was on and off with games. Certain games he played decent. Other games, not so much, but it's some of that the offensive line. Um, mm, Going back to yeah, wow, I can't think right now.
Oh, you're drawing a blank. It's all right. No worries.
You think of
Yeah, their
Jenkins?
number two receiver. Who did you just say?
Keenan Allen. Is that your...
Going back to Keenan Allen, it
Oh
seemed
yeah.
like him and Williams definitely got off on the wrong foot,
Hmm.
even coming out of camp and everything else. There was some frustration there. Allen didn't think that Williams could find them when he was open. I don't know if you watched any of some of the stuff going on preseason with them. There was a lot of frustration between the two of them. So I
Yeah.
don't know if there was really a trustability there. I mean, Allen seemed to come on towards the end of the season and play a lot better under there. So, I mean, that was an improvement at least to see. But, Keenan Allen's not there this year. So we'll kind of see where they go from there. So that means the Dunze's got to step up pretty much into that number two spot.
Yeah, and I like
Yeah.
another thing you guys did in the offseason that I wish the Pats would have got back was Joe Tooney from the Chiefs. Like that came out of left field. I
Yeah.
didn't expect Kansas City to just kind of trade him for what was it like a fifth? I forget what the exact trade was, but it was just like a pick swap, wasn't it? It was like him for a pick.
I believe so. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes.
I don't
Yes.
know off the
Yeah.
top of my head what it was,
Maybe
but
maybe a
yeah,
fourth or a fifth round pick, I
that's what I
believe.
was
Yeah.
thinking too, but I
Yeah.
mean, I wanted the Patriots to obviously go after him because I know he left for KC,
Yeah.
won another Super Bowl
Yeah.
too, whatever it was. But what was your like reaction and thoughts when you guys traded for Joe Tooney from the Chiefs to help even better that offensive line?
Oh, I was absolutely excited seeing what
Hmm.
that offensive line was last year. They made three good moves basically to help shore up that offensive line there. So hopefully things are looking in a positive direction as far as the offensive line is concerned. Let's see what Caleb Williams does this year. That's going to be the biggest thing. He's got
Hmm.
no excuses. You got pretty much a top five wide receiver with DJ Moore. You
He is
have probably a
solid.
top five tight end in Cole Kmet,
Hmm.
and you have an offensive line in front of you this year. So now a lot of the pressure is going to be on him to see what he can do. You have a decent running back who can catch the ball out of the backfield with DeAndre Swift.
Yeah, he is good.
So he has pieces in place. You got
Yeah.
a very solid defensive team too. So they're going to keep you in a lot of these games.
Hmm. That's true. And buddy, feel free to
Yeah.
chime in whenever you want. You don't have to mute yourself or anything. I mean, go for it. I mean, this is just the whole panel. I'm letting you guys have the floor and just chit-chatting with you guys. But I mean, question for everybody. What's Ben Johnson's like, what do you guys think of Ben Johnson? Or Ben Johnson or Ben Johnston? I'm sorry. I think it's Ben Johnston.
Johnson.
Johnson,
Yeah,
okay,
yeah.
I'm sorry. Like what was
Johnson.
your
Yeah,
thoughts
yeah.
when you guys just basically, grabbed them from Detroit?
I mean, I was excited to see the move.
Hmm.
As we know in Chicago, coaching's been a problem for a while there.
It has, yeah.
Well, a lot of guys, so yeah, it's definitely, maybe some fresh blood, some new schemes going in, see what they can run offensively. He's worked with DeAndre Swift before, so it's a guy who he's kind of familiar with, but
Yeah,
he
that's
also
true.
got rid of him too. So,
Hmm.
Yeah,
there's
that's
that process.
true.
So let's see what they can do. I wouldn't be shocked to see Chicago come round two, it's draft another running back. Or if they could trade down in the first round, trade down and maybe grab a running back later on in the draft. But I think there's way too many teams looking to trade down, and not enough teams looking to trade up. So I don't think it's going to be a lot of pot in it there for stuff like that.
Yeah, that
Um,
makes sense because
so
I think Swift was a
Running
draft
back.
day trade. I want to say last year,
yeah,
year before, whatever it was,
yeah,
either from him going to Detroit to the Eagles or from the Eagles to you guys.
correct. From
Yeah,
Detroit to the
yeah, I
Eagles.
thought
Yeah,
it was a couple years ago.
yeah, yeah.
But as far as the draft goes, what do you both think like they should actually do in Bears terms? Like what is their biggest needs on that team, and what playmaker or weapon that they need on either side of the ball to help them?
I mean, I think personally, I think they're going to be stuck in that 10 spot.
Hmm.
So I think chances are with them being stuck there, not finding anybody, I don't know if they're going to exactly go for what their biggest need might be.
Go
I can
best
see
player
them grabbing a
available.
tight end and just using that tight end as another blocker, especially with Ben Johnson. He likes that two tight end set,
Hmm.
that he had in Detroit, and two guys who can absolutely catch the ball coming from that spot as well and give you another weapon offensively.
Go
Buddy,
ahead.
I'll let
Yeah,
you
I'm
chime in here.
Yeah.
yeah, I'm the same way. If
Mm.
Tyler Warren's there at
Yeah.
10, you can grab him, and now you have him and Komet. I
That's
mean,
nice.
Yeah.
you're probably looking for a slot guy with Allen not there anymore,
Mm-hmm.
but either one of those guys can kind of be like a big slot because tight end, they can move off the line. They're both capable of playing in line or off the line. And if they wait a little longer on a tight end, two guys I'd look at, Harold Fannin from Bowling Green and Aronde Gadsden Jr. Yes, we're getting that old. Aronde Gadsden's son is in the NFL draft. He played at Syracuse. He's another guy that you can, move around, that move tight end and play Komet more in line, and you'll still be able to scheme things up, especially with the brilliance. Keith and I have talked about this before. A bigger back, right, Keith? Like someone to
Yeah.
complement DeAndre Swift.
Yeah.
So maybe
Yeah.
an
Yeah.
Ollie Gordon, a Dylan Sampson,
Mm-hmm.
one of those guys along the lines. I think come day 3, we're going to see a lot of teams move up because there's going to be a lot of running backs on the board who are very, very good. Still, just because of despite what Saquon and Henry did this year, it's still a devalued position.
It is.
So I would personally say, day 3, we're going to see nothing but, the Ollie Gordons, the Sampsons, Tootin, Woods out of USC, who's a pass catcher, Jaquint Allen from Syracuse, who's very underrated. I think he's a 3-down back. Brashard Allen, who is basically, what was the kid's name from the Giants last year? Who was the running back, the young running back they picked up?
I'm
Tracy.
Tracy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
he's another Tracy
Yeah.
who converted from receiver to running back. So he's able to run those type of routes. So now you have a joker position where you get a linebacker matched up. Now you got mismatches around the field. So guys like that, I think 4th or 5th round, we're going to see go and be in the league for a while. There's a lot of going back in time. Matt Forte's in this draft. I really feel there's a lot of those.
Yeah. Keith knows that guy very well. I remember him coming out of Tulane, I think it was at the time. I was a young buck, but still. Yeah, Matt Forte. Wow. That Buddy spitting those Matt Fortes. Damn. All right.
Yeah.
So a lot of Matt Fortes in the draft. Oh yeah. No, that's good because I'm assuming they would want a complimentary back behind Swift because Keith probably knows better than I do who their second guy is because they traded Herbert or Hebert, whatever his name is, to
Roshan Johnson.
Yeah, so like I said, you know better than I do who the backup is, but they're probably going to look for insurance either through the draft or any free agents left. I know free agency's kind of simmered down now, but I mean,
I wouldn't be shocked to see them maybe even try and make a deal with Cleveland to bring in Nick Chubb.
That'd be
that
awesome.
second guy in there,
That'd be a good addition with him and Swift. I mean, I know Chubb's more of the
Chubb will be the
RB1.
power back.
Yeah. And then Swift just has to he catches out of the back. They both catch out of the backfield, don't they? So they're both good on the ground and in the air. So
yeah.
I mean, we'll see. It's a week away. I'm excited to see what's going to happen to every team, especially the Patriots, and obviously talking about the Bears. But I know we're running out of time, so I appreciate you guys joining me. And I know this was kind of quick, so
No, I appreciate you giving me the opportunity to be on here. So definitely my pleasure.
No, I appreciate both you and Buddy's expertise because, like I said, you guys know a crap ton more than I do.
I don't really do much.
I was gonna say you're the draft guy, buddy.
I can't make a grilled cheese sandwich on my own, so I mean I have my deficiencies.
No, I appreciate it, guys. Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you.